Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Breaking news, Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull is now agreed to take place, according to Michael Benson in Talk Sports. You even see the IBF purse bids have been canceled as these two teams and sides have come to an agreement to make the fight happen. Al Heyman, PBC, have put this together. So Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull is going to be scheduled next. Now, I have no problem with this fight. I don't think Canelo's ducking anybody. He's literally trying to keep his undisputed crown together. So at this point, Canelo Alvarez is simply fighting a mandatory. He was mandated to fight. I have no problem with this fight. This is a necessary fight if Canelo Alvarez wants to remain an undisputed champion. The only way I have a problem with this fight and you fighting a guy like William Scull is after this fight, you're not fighting a high-level fighter. And Canelo Alvarez has a track record of fighting top guys. Now, if Canelo Alvarez turns around after this fight with William Scull and fights David Benavidez, that's the perfect fight. That's the fight everybody wants to see, and that makes perfect sense because, in my opinion, Canelo Alvarez cooks David Benavidez, but that's the fight that everybody's been calling for years. So that makes perfect sense, and it makes sense why he would want to keep his undisputed crown if that's the move. But if Canelo Alvarez, after William Scull, turns around and fights Edgar Berlanga, then that's a duck. If he turns around and fights Terrence Crawford, a welterweight, then that's a duck. See, at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez has a responsibility. He's the face of boxing. And yes, he has nothing left to prove. But if you're keeping the belts together, if you're going for greatness, if you're looking at legacy, you got to be held to the same standard as everybody else. And if there was any other undisputed champion out there fighting a mandatory but then not fighting the best available opponent and fighting guys coming up multiple weight classes or fighting garbage like Edgar Berlanga, then we'd call them out. And I have to keep the same energy with Canelo Alvarez.